Okay, kids. You know, in my last video, I was talking smack. How Mr. Cagle and I were going to go fishing, and then I was going to beat him. Okay, well, you know how a picture is worth 1,000 words? So I'm going to show you a picture, and it's going to summarize my whole fishing trip today. So here it is. Oh yeah, do you see it? It's me with my mighty fish. So nonetheless, let me tell you this. We did not have fried fish tonight for supper. No, we had to resort to taco salad. Okay, so there you go. So this is my last video for this week. Tomorrow is Good Friday, Sunday is Easter, and then we're off again Monday. So the best way to end this week is to give you a test, because I didn't want to start anything new. So here we go. We're going to review, and I'm going to give you a test for homework. All right, so there's 4 kinds of factoring that we've covered. The first kind was called GCF. The second one, difference of squares. The third one is trinomials. And the fourth kind is called cubes. So what I'd like to do is do one example of each one of those and then call it a day. Or actually call it a night. It's about 11:30. The first example is something like this. 20x squared minus 30. Now we're going to check for a GCF. You have to ask yourself 2 questions. What's the biggest number that will go into 20 and 30? And then when you look at the variables, it's the smallest exponent. So 10 will go into 20 and 10 will go into 30. And when you do a GCF, you only need one set of parentheses. Go back and check your variables. Do you write down x's second power or no x's? No x's win. What does that mean? That means you don't write down any x's. Well, what do you do with the 10? You divide. So you go 10 will go into 20, 2 times, bring down your x squared, minus 10 will go into 30, 3 times. Now, take a look at that. Because sometimes in the parentheses, sometimes it will keep going. Well, it could be a difference of squares because it's got 2 terms. You look at the 2 and the 3, they are not perfect squares. And so it is not a difference of squares. Therefore, you cannot keep going. It was just a GCF problem. Okay, now for the next one. 5x squared minus 500. You're going to check for a GCF. Okay, that requires 2 questions. What's the biggest number that would go into 5 and 500? 5. And then the smallest exponent, x squared or no x's? No x's. What does that mean? Can't write anything down for this spot right here. What do you do with the 5? Divide by. 5 will go into 5 1 time. Bring down your x squared. Minus 5 will go into 500 100 times. Now take a look at this, what's inside the parentheses. It's a difference of squares. Why? Because you have 2 terms. Because you have a minus in the middle. Because the x has an even exponent. And then because the number is a perfect square. So when you have those 4 things, it is a difference of squares. So you're going to open up 2 sets of parentheses, and you're going to go x squared is x times x minus in the middle is 1 plus, 1 minus. Take the square root when you get to the number. The square root of 100 is 10. And then that is your final answer. How come you didn't have to do that inside-outside check thing? Because that is only on trinomials. Okay, example 3. Moving right along. Example 3 is 7x squared plus 17x minus 12. Now, this is a trinomial. It's got 3 terms. The plan is to factor, skip factor. We're going to check for a GCF first. Well, we'll go into 7, 17, and 12, 1. So that doesn't count. So we're going to open up 2 parentheses. 2 numbers that give you 7 is 7 times 1, or you could put 1 times 7. X squared is x times x. Skip over this middle. Minus sign means different. Well, what does different mean? 1 plus, 1 minus. 2 numbers that give you 12. Okay, well there's several things. So we're going to go 1 times 12, 12 times 1, 2 times 6, 6 times 2, 3 times 4, 4 times 3. Now remember, I had to reverse those, switch them around, because I have that front number, and that's going to give me a different combination when I do inside-outside. So I'm going to pick, oh, it's a hard choice. I think I'm going to pick this 2 times 6 first. If that doesn't work, then I'll use 6 times 2. So 2 times 6. Inside is positive 2x. You're multiplying those 2. Outside is 7 times negative 6, negative 42x. That subtracts to give you negative 40x. Oh no, it didn't work. Okay, that's okay. Didn't get it on that first try. I'm going to switch the 6 and the 2 then. The 6 and the 2. Now recheck it. Inside, 6 times 1, 6x. 7 times negative 2, negative 14x. That subtracts to give you negative 8x. Well, I don't have that one either. That one doesn't work. Okay, so let me try 4 times 3 then. Well, how about 3 times 4? 4 times 3, one of them. On the inside, you get positive 3x. Outside, negative 28x. Subtracts to give you negative 25x. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that didn't work either. Okay, maybe this 4 times 3 will then. Okay, so 4 and then the 3. Inside, 4x. Outside, negative 21x. Now that gets me close. That gets me to negative 17x. Now look, the number is matching up, so do not move your numbers. It's the sign that's not matching up. Then that should have been the minus, and that should have been the plus, and then that is going to fix your check, and then it's going to match the middle. I thought it took a little longer than what I wanted to. Okay, example 4, last one. Well, the last kind of factoring we did was a cube. So how about 8x cubed minus 27. Well, then you're going to need the minus formula. The formula that starts off with the minus. So there's my formula. Now, how do you find A? I'm going to try to show it right up here. Take the cube root of whatever comes first. 8x cubed. Well, you have to do them separately. The cube root of 8 is 2. And when you get to the variable, you divide these little numbers and you get x to the first power, or just x. To find B, you're going to take a cube root of whatever comes second. Don't use your sign. Your signs are built into your formula. So the cube root of 27 is 3. So every time you see A, plug in 2x. Every time you see B, you're plugging in 3. Open parentheses. A is 2x minus B is 3. A is still 2x. Don't forget to square it. Plus A is 2x times B is 3. Plus 3 square it. Simplify. Do x's subtract with numbers? Absolutely not. Bring it down. Square the 2. That changes that to a 4. Also square the x. What's x squared? X squared. Plus multiply your numbers. So that's going to give you 6. Then bring down the x. Plus 3 squared, which is 3 times 3. That is 9 right there. And that is how you factor a cube. A cube always has 2 terms, by the way. All right, now I've got you a test made out. So I'm going to put that right here. Okay, test over factoring. You should be doing this on the 9th. First question, list the 4 different kinds of factoring. That's the very first thing I discussed in my video today. And then there's a section and it says factor using a GCF. All right. And then it's going to say factor the difference of squares. That's the second set. So I'm going to pause. All right, and then there's a second page, and then it says factor the trinomials. Factor the trinomials. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Factor the cubes. Oh, I only give you 2 of them. All right. And if you will just, if you will just send this to my phone, I will grade it. And I will be going up to the school at some point in time and putting these grades in, and you can check it on eSchool. All right, you're doing great. Today when we were fishing, my phone was constantly going off with people asking questions, people submitting work. Man, I have a few people who haven't turned in anything. Don't get yourself in a bind. That's not good. So I've started texting parents and making some phone calls, and hopefully we'll get that straight. Most of you are caught up. That is making me so happy. All right, it's good to see y'all again, and I'll see you next week. Oh, before I go, there was something I wanted to say. Of course, there's always something I wanted to say. Tomorrow's Good Friday. Why is it called Good Friday? In my heart, I believe it was called Good Friday because what happened on that Friday was good for us, but was bad for Jesus Christ. Jesus was beaten, he was crucified, and he died a horrible death. That was a bad day for him. But it's a good day for us because that led to the resurrection, which we'll be celebrating that this Sunday. It's called Easter. And that is how we get to go to heaven. And so I want you to think about every time we have a holiday, there's a purpose behind it. And this purpose is about Jesus dying on the cross and being resurrected again. That's what this holiday was based upon when they founded Easter. All right. Thank you, and see you guys later. Bye.